In this video, you're going to learn about comparing and contrasting fiction. Two popular organizers that are often used to compare fiction are the Venn diagram and T-chart. Venn diagram consists of two overlapping circles or ovals. The overlapping part of the circles represents the similarities between the objects or concepts being compared, while the non-overlapping parts represent their differences. Useful for visually showing relationships between items. T-chart consists of two columns labeled with the names of the objects or concepts being compared. The left column lists the similarities between the objects or concepts, while the right column lists the differences. Useful for presenting information in a clear, organized way. Pause the video to complete your organizer. When you finish, return here to check your answers. One way to compare fictional text is to look at the similarities and differences of the characters. You can compare protagonist, antagonist, or supporting characters. Definitions. Protagonist, the main character or hero of the story. Antagonist, the character or force that opposes the protagonist. Supporting characters, other important characters who help or hinder the protagonist. Character development, how the characters change or grow throughout the story. Another area of fiction that can be compared and contrasted is the setting. Definitions. Setting, time and place, the specific time period and location where the story takes place. Atmosphere, the mood or feeling created by the setting. Descriptive details, vivid descriptions that bring the setting to life. Plots are often compared between two fictional texts. Here is a brief description of the parts of the plot. This is also known as the roller coaster plot diagram. Exposition, the introduction of characters, setting, and initial conflict. Rising action, events that build tension and develop the conflict. Climax, the highest point of tension or the turning point in the story. Falling action, events that occur after the climax and lead to the resolution. Resolution, the final outcome or solution to the conflict. Types of conflict is another aspect of stories that writers like to compare and contrast. Writers can compare internal conflict, a struggle within a character's mind or emotions, external conflict, a struggle between a character and an outside force. Here are some other types of conflict. Person versus person. Person versus self. Person versus nature. Person versus society. Themes are also compared and contrasted between fictional stories. Themes are the main ideas or messages that the story explores. Common themes include love, friendship, courage, identity, justice, etc. Themes can be inferred through character actions, dialogue, and events. The point of view can be an interesting feature to compare and contrast between two fictional stories. Point of view. First person. The story is narrated by a character within the story using I or we. Third person. The story is narrated by someone outside the story using he, she, or they. Limited point of view. The narrator only knows the thoughts and feelings of one character. Omniscient point of view. The narrator knows the thoughts and feelings of multiple characters. Here are a few more things you might look at when comparing and contrasting fictional stories. Symbolism. The use of objects, settings, or actions to represent abstract ideas or concepts. Symbols can add depth and meaning to the story. Tone. The author's attitude towards the subject or audience. Mood. The atmosphere or emotional feeling created in the reader. Be sure to check out these terrific clip art artists by going to the links at the end of the printable resource.